Today we're going to be planting some seeds for our summer garden. If you don't plant seeds early, you can either buy plants or you can, if you direct sowed seeds in your garden, it would, depending on where you live, it would take too long for the seeds to come up before the planting season was over. Here, probably not. Here we probably could direct sow most of this stuff because we have a long growing season. We're in zone 9 or 9B. I'm not sure which one. I need to look that up. But we have a long growing season. But you can get a really good jump on your growing season by planting seeds early. And so I am at the very back end of my seed window here. So I want to go ahead and get these things planted. So I have a ton of seeds here that I ordered from Baker Creek. I kind of went overboard. I get overly ambitious every year in the spring when it's planting time, and then in the summer when everything comes in, I'm just totally swamped, overwhelmed, kicking myself for planting all this stuff. And I'm sure, I have no doubt that it's gonna be the same this year, because this year I have 2 children instead of 1, and all of this stuff to keep up with. But so I got all this stuff to plant, and I'll tell you what they all are when we get to planting. These are the ones that I'm going to plant seeds of. Some things do better direct sowing in the garden. And the things that we're going to do that with are beans. I have a few heirloom variety of beans to try that I got from Baker Creek. Let's see, two of those. And then white whippoorwill cowpeas. Some winter squash. I think I got acorn squash. And I'm not sure what sweet dumpling. I don't remember exactly what it looked like because it's not the ones with the picture on it. So I got some winter squash, some pumpkins, watermelon, zucchini squash, pickling cucumbers, another squash. So all those things do better going straight in the garden. They're very hard to transplant because they're super delicate. I did end up buying some seeds last year because I was late on planting everything, and I broke like 3 of them trying to plant them because they're just super delicate. So these kind of things, the cucumbers and squash and all that stuff, do a lot better to plant directly in the garden, and they come up in just a few days, so they don't take long at all. Let's see, what do they say? Sprouts in 5 to 10 days. They make fairly quickly. They're not like tomatoes that have to grow for like months before they start making. So I got all my seeds. These are the ones that are going in the garden, so I'm going to just set them on the side. And I have my soil. I'm using this Jiffy seed starting mix. It's what they had at Home Depot when I went. So that's what I'm using, and I just wet it a little bit. You're supposed to wet it before you're supposed to dampen it before you do your seeds. And I didn't do it one time, and if you try to water it after the fact, it's like the water doesn't saturate it. So it's very difficult. So I would highly suggest wetting it if you get a seed starting mix. I'm sure you could use something like a potting mix or something like that, but all the potting mix I've gotten lately has had big hunks of mulch and stuff in it, and I didn't want that for starting my seeds. So I did get some actual seed starting mix. And then I'm using, this looks like a Jiffy ad. It's not sponsored by Jiffy. I wish it was, but it's not. But I also got these greenhouse planter things. Next year, if I can keep up with these and keep them from getting torn up, I will possibly try the soil blocking method because it looks pretty neat and you don't have to buy these things every year. So hopefully I can keep up with these and do that next year. But this year I just bought these because I didn't have any left. My ones from last year got ruined. So I'll be planting in these little peat, what are they called? Peat cells. And they're just like this, 10 per strip. That's what I'm gonna be doing. And then I got some markers to write because I don't have actual plant markers, so I'm just going to write what variety of things I'm planting on the cells. And since I have a toddler, who knows where the garden shovel is, so we're using a kitchen spoon. This one that I'm starting with is classic beefsteak. And this side is going to be Tabby's Heritage. Okay, and Caetano Romanesco mortgage lifter. If you're anything like me, I would recommend ordering your seeds for your spring in the fall, because what happens with me is come this time of the year, mid in February, I'm like, oh, I need to plant seeds. But guess what? I forgot to order them, which I should have done like the 1st of January. And then it's time to plant. I don't have my seeds, so I end up either planting them too late and they're growing, they don't start till late, or end up just going to the nursery and buying plants, which for one, you don't have as big of a variety, and then for two, you're spending a whole lot more money because they're a lot more expensive to buy the plants. For one seed packet, you can, you know, for what you pay for one plant, you can buy a whole seed packet. So this year I ordered my seeds in the fall, which worked out really well because, for one thing, with all of the craziness going on, obviously I cannot write and talk at the same time. With all of the craziness going on in the world right now, a lot of places are totally out of seeds. So I'm really glad that I ordered them in the fall, because not only did I have them and not forget to buy them, but I was able to get them at all. So I would recommend that you order your things, you know, in the fall, late, you know, early, super early winter or late fall, because then you'll have them when it's time to go. Okay, Sunrise Bumblebee, and this is a striped cherry tomato. I love cherry tomatoes. They're my absolute favorite. I think they have way more flavor than your typical full-size tomato. I just love them. I think they're wonderful. I hope these cherry tomatoes that I bought this year do well. Okay, another cherry tomato. This is a black cherry tomato. I mean, they call it that. It's obviously not black. It's just dark rosella. Cherokee purple. And the last tomato variety that I have is green zebra. It's a green striped tomato. I really like all the different ones, the, you know, different colors and stripes, and I just am kind of a sucker for all the different things. So hopefully these will grow well, because I think they're super cool. Okay, so first up here is Craig's Grande Jalapeno. Usually peppers are our best crop. They're, for some reason down here, they're, well, I take that back. Hot peppers. We usually have super, super good success with hot peppers. Bell peppers, we've always had a lot of difficulty with. Hopefully they'll do good this year. My parents last year, their bell peppers did really good. So we'll see. I don't know. I think last year we had a cooler beginning to our summer, and I think that a lot of people thought that that had to do with it. So hopefully this year we'll have a good one as well. These are jigsaw peppers, and it's a really pretty ornamental pepper, and it says that they're about as spicy as a jalapeno. Alright, now I have Phileas blue pepper. Okay, next is lipstick pepper, and I am going to do a few extra of these. These are very similar to some that you can get in the grocery store. They're like the little sweet mini peppers, and my mom loves them. She uses them all the time for like little miniature stuffed peppers and stuff, so I'm going to do extra of these to have some to share with her, and two, I think we'll really like them. Alright, now I have orange bell pepper. Okay, and then I have California Wonder, which is a regular bell pepper that turns red if you let it ripen that long. Okay, next we have banana peppers. Okay, and the last hot pepper I have is Brazilian starfish. It's a really interesting looking pepper. I'm curious to see how it grows. Okay, and now we have tomatillos. Okay, so next we have eggplant. This is ping tongue eggplant, and it's really different. It's long and skinny, but it's a Taiwanese eggplant, so it's from Taiwan. All the reviewers said it was the best eggplant that they have ever tasted, so I'm curious to see. I'm curious to see how it turns out. Okay, and next I have basil, and I love basil. My mom and we love basil. We love pesto. So I'm actually going to plant a lot of these. I typically do basil in between my tomato plants because they're also really helpful for keeping away bugs that you don't want in your tomatoes. So I'm going to do 10 of them, and then we do them in between our tomato plants, which it actually will not be enough for everyone, but 10 will be plenty. And during the summer, I can put up enough pesto in my freezer to last me all year long. And I will link in the cards to a pesto recipe. If you're interested in it on my blog, it is so delicious. So if you grow pesto, definitely try it. If you grow pesto, it's basically growing pesto. If you grow basil, go check it out because it is really easy to do in the blender. You just throw everything in and blend it up. But it's a delicious way to preserve your basil, because I don't know about where you live, but down here, basil, it gets huge and it's prolific, and the more you pick it, the more it makes. So it's one of those things that you definitely can save a lot of. Okay, only a few more things left. I got some thyme. Okay, and then back to the asters. Okay, and that is all the seeds. So that I had 3 of these things, which is 50 each. So that's 150 seeds that I just planted, and I didn't even use 1 whole bag of dirt. So if you're getting this type of seed starting soil, that's how far it goes with these peat pots. Now, if you're doing soil blocking, it obviously would use a lot more because they're bigger blocks, plus you don't have the pot. So if you're doing soil blocking, you might need more. But for the seed starting mix, it goes a lot longer than it looks like it's gonna go. I never remember, so I always overbuy. But anyway, so there's the tip. Okay, and then this is my seed starting station setup. It is, actually, this is my mom's. My dad built it. She wasn't using it this year. She's doing a smaller one, so she let me use it. But it's just a simple wooden stand, and then it's got a fluorescent light fixture hanging by chains on the sides here. Let's see, maybe you can see. Here are the chains on the sides it's hanging by, so that you can start it way down close to the plants, the seedlings, and then as they sprout up and grow, you can move the light up to grow with, to give them space to grow. And then so these, I took some of them off. As you can tell, it's been a little while for me to finish this video, so some of my seedlings are up. These, it was a little long before we got the light set up, so they are a little spindly, but these are flowers, so I'm not super worried about them. I think they'll be fine. And then these, my peppers and things have not sprouted yet, so I kept the domes on them, took the ones out that have sprouted. You don't want to leave the tops on them after they're starting to sprout and getting up a little bit, because it'll cause problems with them. So that's that. And then I also have this little fan here to blow them, to give them some wind and strengthen the stems and things. It just makes them stronger, because if you don't have any kind of resistance on them at all, and then you take them outside, they'll just blow right over. So it just strengthens the stalk and stem of them by having a little breeze going on them. And then also, my mom did a lot of research, and what she found out was that, long story short, they do the best when they have a combination of daylight and cool light for starting seeds indoors. This is for starting seeds indoors. So that's what we did here. We got one cool white 4100K bulb and one natural daylight 5000K bulb. So that's what's in here. We'll see how it goes. This is my first year starting seeds with the light, so I'm pretty excited to see, and it was really exciting to see how quickly some of them started coming up. But yeah, so this is that. And then, like I said, I may end up having to transfer them into bigger pots before planting season comes. It just depends on how quickly they grow. And then I will definitely show y'all once we get our garden all tilled up and ready, rows, and get ready to plant. I'll probably do another video of planting all this stuff in the garden and show y'all kind of our setup, because it is a large row garden, and it's going to be exciting to get it all in the ground. So hope you enjoyed this. If you have any questions about starting seeds, I'm not an expert, but I can do my best to answer them based off of our experience that we've had so far. This is by far the most seeds I've ever planted. I usually do a few, but not anything to this scale. This year, I pretty much bought seeds for everything. Normally, I end up buying my seeds late, and then, so I plant seeds for some things and I buy plants for some things. But this year, I prepared early. I bought my seeds in the fall so that I wouldn't forget when seed starting time came. So I got seeds for everything that I was planting in the garden this year, including squash, cucumbers, zucchini, all that kind of stuff, which I didn't plant. I'll plant that straight in the garden. But yeah, so this is kind of an experiment. We'll see how it goes, and I'll definitely take y'all along if you're interested. Hope you have a good day, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye. Whippoorwill, I'm weird and I do.